It was really the books of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, you know, the man we believe to be the Messiah, Mahdi. I, I'd say first of all, I'm kind of a mystic slash Sufi at heart. I really like the idea of alternate dimensions and seeing, you know, experiencing heaven and paradise yourself in this life. And this is, as you know, there's a lot of a very Sufi touch to the writings of the promised Messiah, alayhi salam. And so I was drawn to this also, his explanation of the status of the Holy Quran and also his explanation of the status of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And of course, these are the essence of Islam. And so once he had started explaining these things, you know, this is what drew me to the religion because of how lofty he spoke of this book and how lofty he spoke of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Philosophy and teachings of Islam. You know what was the biggest thing, right? It was like normally growing up in the religious atmosphere, this was this. It was like, you don't do this bad thing because you're going to get hell. But to me, you couldn't prove that hell existed nor heaven, right? These were assumptions, right? And they said, well, you better not like chance it because if not, you could be in really serious trouble. He didn't approach it like this. When I read his book, he said, look, he goes, even if you don't, you know, even say if we're not even talking about the spiritual aspect, right? He says, this is good for you physically. You can notice how morality benefits you in this world, in this very life, and how it's very physically beneficial. And so this actually it sparked my interest because it was very logical, right? And how then of course he talked about how moral becomes spiritual states, and then you kind of start to be curious about what are these spiritual states. You know, this book, I like it a lot because it's solely based on the Holy Quran. Everything he calls upon, it has a Quranic verse. And so it inspires you, right? You want to go, because you see him interpret this, like, how did he do that? You grab the Holy Quran and like you try to do it, and like, I don't know how he's doing this. And so it really enticed me to read the Holy Quran after reading his interpretation of the book.